Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, as you could tell by the name of the video, it's going to be another mock draft. I haven't done one of these in a little while. Since my last one, PFF has made their mock draft simulator paid, and I caved in and paid for it, so here we are. So starting off with number 1. Though I do like Bryce more, I think the Panthers are going to like CJ a little more. I think, as you can see, a lot of people would agree. He just seems like a better fit. It seems like who they want. Taller guy. Frank Reich only coaches taller quarterbacks. Makes sense. The Texans, I don't think the Texans would ever pass on Bryce Young. I think there's a slight chance that if Bryce goes to the Panthers, that they might pass on CJ. Like a 1% chance. I don't think there's any chance they pass on Bryce. But I probably like a 95% chance. I guess 99 based on what I said, that these are the first two picks in either order. Arizona, I mean, they could really like Will Anderson, but I'm kind of thinking that they're going to rather trade back. And I'm not great at figuring out details of this. I'm just going to say first and high second for this one. It could be more, it could be, I doubt it would be less. Like, it could be this, it could be more. But, I mean, they're not going to get two first, so it doesn't affect the first round mock draft, so this is all I'm doing. But on the board at 3, I could see this one going either way. In fact, I could see the Colts trading up to 3, and then the Raiders trading up to 4, and Arizona just reaping the benefits of trading down twice. But I think I'm just going to go with this, and I'm going to have the Raiders take Will Levis, which is going to be surprising to a lot of people. But I just think he's a better scheme fit. I think McDaniels will like him more. And obviously Richardson here. So the famed 4 quarterbacks in a row that gets mocked most years but will never happen. But it could happen this year. I'm sure it will. But honestly, if it does happen, I think this is the only scenario. Because I think the Raiders would be the only team that would realistically take Levis top 4. Because I'm kind of thinking if a team jumps the Colts to take Anthony Richardson, the Colts are going to trade back with maybe the Vikings. And then the Colts will try to get Hooker. And then it's possible that the Vikings would take Levis at 4, but I doubt it. I know a lot of people have him going way lower than this. A lot of people have him falling. I'm not going to do that this draft. I am going to go 4 QBs, Richardson to the Colts. They get their athletic guy. And then the Seahawks are on the board. They'll take Will Anderson. I'm not going to say it's a boring pick because he is a flashy, exciting player, but like, it's mocked all the time. Everybody knows. If the Cardinals trade out of here, the Seahawks are going to take Will Anderson. I don't think there's really any chance they go Tyree Wilson or Myles Murphy. Lions are on the board. Lions just traded Jeff Okudah. A lot of people think that means Devin Witherspoon. And honestly, although I do think Christian Gonzalez might match what they've been doing a little better, I've been mocking him there too often, so I'm going to go with Devin Witherspoon, which I would hate to see because I love Devin Witherspoon. I don't want him to go to a division rival, but whatever. He's not what they thought Jeff Okudah would be. They're two different players, but maybe he fills that CB1 role that they hoped Jeff Okudah would fill. And now Arizona on the clock. I'm sure they're upsetting. Well, now that I think about it, they trade down, they pick up an extra second rounder. Arizona's not going to be competitive this year. Maybe it wouldn't hurt them to take a flyer on a top 2 to 3 talent in the class. Jalen Carter, he's a great talent. I'm not really worried about him having a rough pro day. I'm worried about the legal issues, obviously. That's why he's not going top 5. But I don't think he'd go earlier than this, but Arizona, Houston, Tennessee, they're just a couple of those teams that are in an awkward position where they're able to go best player available if they have concerns like injury or character issues or whatever. Because they're kind of rebuilding, they're not going to be competitive right away, but they also don't need quarterbacks. I guess you could say Tennessee could. And I'm saying Houston doesn't need a quarterback because they already took one. Obviously, they need one right now. But anyways, Falcons on the board. Tyree Wilson. This is an easy pick. They need edge. He's a great edge. Although I do like Myles Murphy a little more personally. I'm just kind of going with what's been happening. So, based on public view, Myles Murphy's not going to be going this high. So, Tyree Wilson there. Bears. Whew. I'm not going to take Darnell Wright. That's kind of, there's been a lot of smoke with that there. I'm going to go with Paris Johnson. They got a really good... Paris Johnson's a left tackle. I don't know if they'd want to move Braxton Jones to right tackle or move Paris to right tackle, but either way, now they've got two really solid tackles. Kind of the start of a really solid young offensive line to help protect Fields. That's a good move for them. Moving on, Philadelphia. I'm going to go Christian Gonzalez here. I think there's a lot of different directions they can go with that pick. I'm sure some Eagles fans would love JSN, but they could go corner, safety, they could go O-line, D-line, anything. I'm just going to go with Christian Gonzalez. He's one of the most talented players available. It just makes sense. Get good young players to help build. I mean, they're not really building. They've got a really complete team already, but adding young, talented players to a good team, that's never a bad option. Tennessee at 11. This is a difficult pick. I think I have to go O-line because they don't have a great O-line. Skoronski is that... I mean, he's more of a guard. 6'4", 313. It's got to be too small to be a tackle, but he's got the ability to play tackle as well as... He's got that positional versatility that teams like. But I'm not sure they want positional versatility. You know, maybe they want young, athletic, traditional tackle like Darnell Wright. I think that's the direction I'm going to go. And I say that, like, personally, I'm a bigger fan of Anton Harrison. I'm kind of lower on the athletic guys, but I am going to go with Darnell Wright there. Houston at 12. This just has to be best player available. Whew. Bryce Young and Myles Murphy is just... That's a great draft for them. I think that's the direction I'm going to go. They could use edge. There's adding talent to a young roster. New York is on the board. They don't want Skoronski. I'm going to go with Broderick Jones here. Another athletic tackle. New England. I really like mocking LVN to the Patriots. I'm going to go with Zay Flowers. I see that happening a lot. This would be weird because he is the first receiver off the board, and it would be kind of like a 2019? I can't even remember. When Henry Ruggs went before Jerry Jeudy and CeeDee Lamb. It's kind of like probably no other team would have taken him over those two, but the Raiders just love their speed. Everybody knew he was their guy. And then, despite a lot of people thinking CeeDee Lamb was better than Jeudy and Ruggs, Jeudy went to the Broncos because he was just the guy they liked. And I think it could happen. The Patriots just like Zay Flowers. He's a weapon. Belichick would love to add him to his team. If they still have Mac Jones, I'm sure that he would love to get him a weapon. If not, whatever, he's a weapon for whoever's throwing. Bailey Zappi, who knows? Green Bay is on the board. This is an interesting one. Obviously, I am a Packers fan. And I'm not sure if I'm Green Bay that I want to stay here. I think there's more value trading down. But it depends on who wants to move up. Because there are some good players. Joey Porter, Peter Skoronski, JSN. If a team like New York wanted to move up... Ooh. I kind of... Dallas moving up. Probably to steal JSN. Because they don't want New York to get him. They don't want a division rival to end up with him. I'm sure they'd love it. Well, no, they don't need wide receiver 3. What am I thinking? They got Cooks. Never mind. Oh. No, I can't. Thinking about Dallas trading up for Bijan, but that doesn't make sense. I'm going to do a first and a second to move up. It's 11 spots. I'm really bad at figuring out the value, but like, if I'm Green Bay, I'm fine with that because I think there is going to be a lot of talent here at 26. I'm not sure if Cowboys fans would be fine with that. Some would, some wouldn't. Now, a part of me is tempted to take Bijan here, but I'm not going to because they have too many needs, and Brian Brzee is just too good of a player to be falling. They get like a really good run stopper and a guy with upside as a pass rusher up the middle. They're filling a really big need there. And now Washington, there are a lot of good players on the board. And I think Washington needs some good players. I'm going to go with Peter Skoronski. They need O-line. Peter Skoronski's O-line. He can play guard. In a pinch, he can play tackle. I'm not sure if you want him to be a starting tackle, but if they view him as a starting tackle, then good for them. But they need interior offensive line, as you can see, and the roster's not that great. They're just adding talent at this point. It's BPA. Now, a bit of a fall from the top receivers. Pittsburgh, I'm sure they were interested in a quarterback, but they're not going to take Hendon Hooker here. I'm sure they were interested in... Never mind, I don't know what I'm talking about. I was thinking about a rumor of them trading up, but that was with the Bears to get O-line. So just forget I said anything. No, I think this is actually a dream scenario for Pittsburgh because I really like Anton Harrison. He's my tackle 1 to 2 behind Paris. But he's right up there at the top, a really good player. A true tackle, he's got tackle size. PFF's not as big a fan of him as I am, but that's okay. He is older. No, he's not. Sorry. Reading big board rank, not age. He's young. He's young. He's a little short, but he's athletic. He's got the technique down. He does everything right. I wouldn't say he has the upside of Paris Johnson, but his technique is like borderline better. Technique is definitely better in these two, but the upside is not particularly close. These two are great athletes. But anyways, that's a starting left tackle or right tackle, wherever they want to put him. He's a really good player. Day 1 starter. Immediate impact. At 17, he's the 4th tackle off the board. 5th if you count Peter Skoronski. And he's still a starter. That's nice value. Now Detroit at 18. There are a couple ways you can go with this. I think receiver would be too much of a luxury pick for them to target. But a part of me thinks Michael Mayer just seems like such a Detroit Lions player. He had a great year. He's like the stereotypical tight end. He's exactly what Detroit would want. But I also think under Dan Campbell, are they going to go tight end in the first round? They could go corner, but they already went corner, so just ignore me. I'm going to go tight end. I think it's kind of a fun pick. Michael Mayer, even though he's not as fun a player as some would like. That's kind of a luxury pick when they don't really need to be making luxury picks, but they did, and he's a starting tight end. He's a good player. They don't have great tight end depth. They might prefer to go that direction in the second round, but they're not going to, so yeah. Buccaneers on the board. This is the hardest team to draft for. Every time I have no idea what direction to go. Corner, edge. Yeah, I'm going to go with LVN. It's just talent to a young team that kind of, I don't know what direction they're going. Just adding talent. Maybe a bit more of a developmental guy, but still a good player. Seattle. So earlier in the draft, they went Will Anderson. They could be looking at interior O-line, like O'Cyrus Torrence. You never know when they're looking at corner. Tariq Woolen obviously had a great rookie year, but outside of him, it's not elite. Joey Porter's on the board. I think I'm going to go that direction. Maybe not their biggest need, but it's just good players on the board. You got to take him. Ooh, here's a fun pick. Jackson Smith and Jigba to the Chargers. Baltimore. I'm sure all the Ravens fans want Bijan. Gotta add talent at running back. I have no idea how to mock for them. Okay, let's say Lamar's gone. They go with Quentin Johnston. Build up around Tyler Huntley instead. Minnesota's on the board. There's a couple good players. I'm going to say they trade back with Philadelphia. Philly gives up. I don't know if they give up a second. We'll say a second, and then they get back a fourth. And all four straight. And they are trading up for none other than Bijan. I'm not confident where to mock Bijan, but I think this is about the range that would make sense. He's a great player, but he's a running back. And I know the Eagles signed Rashad Penny. They have talent at running back, but why not? Christian Gonzalez, Bijan Robinson, just adding some ridiculous talent to that team. Jacksonville. I actually really like this as a place for Brian Branch. I think it's a solid fit. New York is on the board. Ooh. I would hate this so much, but they take Jordan Addison one pick before Green Bay. Green Bay, actually, Nolan Smith fell a ways. I could see Green Bay going that direction. There's a couple guys. I don't really think they'd go after Kincaid because he's not all that as a blocker. I doubt they draft him in the first round. I think if they go tight end, it's Darnell Washington, who I am considering here. Deonte Banks is a nice player. I think I am going to go with Nolan Smith. You'd think Green Bay would never draft him because of his size concerns, but who knows? He's from Georgia. They'll take their fourth Georgia player in the first round in a row. Honestly, I was kind of between him and Darnell, so Georgia either way. Buffalo on the board. I kind of like this spot to go. O'Cyrus Torrence. I think they need interior O-line. He's the best one in the class. It makes sense. Go after him. Cincinnati. Oof. They signed a couple corners. Safeties. So I don't think they would go safety in the first. It doesn't seem like teams like Antonio Johnson as much as I do. I'm thinking Deontay Banks. I don't think he really falls this far in real life, and that's just value for them. New Orleans is on the board. I don't know what New Orleans' needs are. I'm going to look them up. They definitely have a standout need at DT. I'm going to go with Clyde Jukansi there. Although part of me wanted to go with Keanu Benton, I am going to go with kind of somebody people like more than I do. Obviously undersized. He's everybody's next Aaron Donald. 6'1", 281 out of Pittsburgh. He had a great year, 91.8 PFF grade. Really, he's been solid throughout his career, according to PFF. Although I do think he gets caught on blocks too much because of his size. He's still, great motor, great athleticism. A designated pass rusher at first, but he can kind of develop as a run stopper. I hate to say the way Aaron Donald did, but kind of the way Aaron Donald did. You can grow as a run stopper. Even though I don't think he's going to be Aaron Donald, for the record. Minnesota on the board. I think with Deontay Banks gone, I traded back because I think they are going to go after a quarterback. They've kind of made it clear they're ready to move on from Kirk after this year. And I kind of think they want to take him. I know first round seems way too early for Hooker, but I think they want that 5th-year option. So they trade back to 30 to take him and get the 5th-year option. Because quarterback's just so expensive now. The 5th-year option is kind of a good way to keep it a little cheaper before the second contract. Kansas City's on the board. Another somewhat difficult team to mock for. They could definitely be in the market for a right tackle. And I think that's the direction I'm going to go. I'm going to go with DeJuan Jones here. Huge human being. Really good right tackle. He'll fit in nicely. I think he can be a day one starter. You got Jawan Taylor. You got a solid interior O-line. Protect Mahomes. They know they need to. They learned their lesson last year, and they did. And yeah.